Good morning, everyone. Today we'll look at a condition, um, drug and alcohol addiction or psychoactive substance abuse. So, when we say drug, anything that has a physical and psychological effect is considered as a drug. So, alcohol, cocaine, caffeine, opium, all these considered to be drugs. So we'll not go into details of these different substances. Our focus will be mainly on those indications when you really have to seek for help and what are the physical and psychological effects on the individual who is addicted as well as on the family members, and will focus in detail on the different kinds of management of these drug addictions. So when we look at mainly the different symptoms, when you need to really approach for help, so you need to understand a little bit about the different terminology which can be considered as symptoms also. So we look at 4 to 5 those kind of characteristics that one need to have some understanding about. Intoxication. Intoxication is a word used when the person has taken a drink and then intake of any substance or alcohol where there is disturbance in the level of consciousness, in the judgment and in the cognition, where the substance is acting in the blood and then it is showing its effect. So this is where the drunkenness or the hangover kind of a state is called intoxicated state. So that is one characteristic. And the other one is the harmful use. When do we call it harmful use? So when it starts showing its effects, whatever the drug that one is taking, when it starts showing its effect at a harmful level, both from a psychological as well as from the physical perspective, we consider it as a harmful use. Physically, if you look at consequences like liver damage or gastritis, problems in digestion, all these things considered to be affecting the physical. And when the person is taking a prolonged using this particular addicted drug for a prolonged period in high amounts, where the psychologically the person might get into a different mood states, depression, anxiety and a wide variety of these effects, so which we will discuss a little bit later when we are discussing the psychological effects. So harmful use, we call it harmful use when the person's physical as well as the psychological health is, as well as even the family members are affected, we can consider it as a harmful use of that substance. Then comes the dependency. So there are two kinds of dependency on the psychological dependency as well as the dependency on the body. So when we say dependency, the person's mind is mainly focused on getting the drink and then fetching the drink. So mainly a particular concentration not maintained in the blood is making them very restless, and then the person actively seeks for maintaining that concentration. So here the dependency is mainly where the priority is given only to get the desired addicted drug, and then it's a compulsion that without which it is difficult for them to control, and then This happens when the addictions are mainly when the tolerance level, that means the amount of drug that is giving effect over a period of time, because of the resistance that has been developed for the drug, the person has to take increased amounts, and when the tolerance level increases, this is when the dependency starts developing. So that is the physical dependency, a kind of a craving for the substance that the person is addicted to. Psychologically, the person can be dependent on, psychologically the person's dependency is mainly indicated by a variety of psychological symptoms, especially the memory loss, recent memory loss. They can't remember the recent memory, the order of events that has happened, and then there is a disturbed time sense, morning, evening, so there is a disoriented kind of state in the cognition and the psychological aspect. So these are some of the physical and psychological dependency that one can see these kind of addicted persons. Then comes the withdrawal state or withdrawal symptoms. When an addicted substance is withdrawn and a particular concentration, like I said, is not maintained in the bloodstream, the person might get certain symptoms where when the substance is not to the level that calms them, so which happens usually with the prolonged and high use with which the speed with which the person takes high amount and the prolonged use, where whenever there is a substance is not being taken to that desired level, there can be psychological effects like getting anxious, depressed, sleep problems, and at a higher level convulsions, and a condition called delirium tremens, where the person might get into an insomnia, agitation, fear kind of a state. So this is when the particular substance that the person is addicted is not present according to the tolerance level, the withdrawal symptoms are expressed. So the other important character that one need to know is the psychosis. So this again is the result of prolonged use, high amounts for a prolonged period of time, where the person starts hearing voices of people not around. The person might start fearing that someone is trying to harm them or someone is talking behind them, a kind of a disturbed psychological state, disoriented, and problems with psychomotor disturbance we call it, where the person becomes very excited and agitated to the level of intense fear to ecstasy, where which usually happens, like I said, in high dose with prolonged use. So these are some of the terminology that we are used medically, where one can consider it as a kind of sign to take help. Alright, so let's look at more detailed on the effects of these psychoactive substances on our physical health, psychological health, and also on the family and quality of life. These are the three areas that we focus on. Looking at the effects on body and brain. So the effect depends directly on the alcohol or drug concentration in the blood. Generally, most of the addicted substance, especially the alcohol, will enter into the blood at a very fast level, at a very high level, depending on the kind of beverage one chooses. So generally the alcohol is the ethyl alcohol, which is as high as 40 to 60% in distilled spirits and 6 to 8% in beers and less alcohol substances. So here mainly again the speed with which the person takes, the amount that the person consumes, all these affect the body functioning. And there are other important factors like the person's weight of the body, if the person has some food in the stomach or not, and like I said, the type of beverage that one person takes. The more the body weight, the less will be the alcohol concentration. The food in the stomach slows down the rate of absorption, and hence generally the high body weight and then having food will generally have low concentrated blood alcohol. And generally when you look at the effects, mainly the effects on the nervous system and the brain, the coordination of the person might lose the balance, mainly increased heart rate, blood pressure and the appetite, vomiting, and then all these kind of effects that one can see, starting with relaxation to unconsciousness to death at a higher level. So these are some of the effects on the body as well as on the brain. Looking at little more detail on the psychological effects of these psychoactive substances. Alcohol is a drug. It produces a lot of physical as well as psychological symptoms. So initially when the person is taking in the lower doses, the feelings of well-being, and after a couple of drinks and as the person is increasing the amount, it can become more like a lack of control and then lost inhibitions, where the person might try to kind of let out his whatever that the person is going through, the troubled feelings and anxiety or depression kind of a thing. And often people use this as a way of countering their problems, which is a short-term kind of help, but then in the long run the problem remains the same. So coming to the psychological effect, mainly it affects on the brain centers which controls the higher functions of judgment and cognition and lack of inhibitions. So just taking the alcohol, erasing painful feelings remains for a shorter period, while large doses over a period where the tolerance level is increased amounts can also start affecting the person's social as well as physical incompetence, more kind of a drunkenness or intoxication that we have discussed in the earlier discussion, where the decision making capabilities of the person are affected, and these are all the immediate physical effects. Looking at a little bit on the long term effects of these addictions, repeated drinking in large amounts over long period can become very disastrous, impairing the quality of life. So excess intake over long periods can severely damage one's physical health, heart problems and liver damage, and effect on the nerves, pancreas, all major organs of the body are affected. As I said in the beginning, increased tolerance leads to increased amount of the drinking and then increased amount as well as, and the same effect need to be produced with increased amount. So the tolerance level is increased because of the tissue resistance, where the person need to take more amount, and then like I said, there is dependency and craving resulting because of that. These are all the long-term effects, physical effects on the person's body and brain. Looking at the effect on the psychological effects on the person in the short term and the long term. Coming to the next aspect, the effect on family relationships, quality of life as well as on the occupation or career of the person. So there is a disturbed communication with family members. Often the person is ignored in major family decisions. So where the person might start feeling inferior, that he is not given importance, and then which usually happens because of the intoxicated state the person is in, and then not in a proper state of able to take the decisions. All these things make the person, the family members, push to the side without any planning, the person might be ignored in the major decisions of the family. And then there is disturbed social relations with the relatives, where they start looking one down, and then looking at the career and job performance comes down, and the person might not be able to maintain the same alertness. Some jobs might require more alert kind of thinking process, which the judgment as well as the decision making powers are being impaired. So these are some of the effects on the quality of life, career as well as family. So coming to the treatment and the management, we look at it from different perspectives. The success of the treatment depends on the motivation level of the person who is addicted. So the motivation is a very, very important factor here. So, and yes, there are medical treatments where when the person is in a highly intoxicated state, where there is a process of detoxification happens, which we'll look at little later. And the counseling is mainly focused on the drug refusal or drink refusal skills as part of social skills training, and modification at the environmental or the family level, as well as sensitizing the person as to how his or her drug intake behavior is affecting them at a long term side effects or complications over a period of time, both on their physical as well as psychological health. So let's start with the level of motivation. So preparing a client for stopping this drinking behavior, it depends on person's readiness to act on the problem. So whether the person feels that this is something that I need to stop doing, or is it because the family members want him to stop. So the motivation level is very, very important. So where the sensitization and motivation mainly focused on the disadvantages of continuing the drinking, what happens to their physical health, how the person's psychological health is affected, and how he might lose the job, or these kind of areas are chosen in order to motivate the person as a way of bringing in the motivation to stop him from this drinking behavior. Focus is mainly on advising and feedback on the current status and how this motivation can help him to come out of this problem successfully and completely, when he is more cooperative and willing to stop this behavior of taking of the substance. So this is about how one can work on his or her motivation level. Looking at the detoxification, the medical procedure, where when the person is addicted certain substances like opium or alcohol, where they are actually dependent on the substance, a different kind of drugs are given in order to take away this dependency and still maintain the same effects that the person gets by taking these substances. This is mainly how they are mainly it helps to counter the withdrawal effects of the body. So this is mainly the detoxification, clearing the body of the toxic substance. So the counseling comes into picture only after the detoxification in a kind of dependent or in a person with high psychological craving. So in counseling mainly we focus on first avoiding these factors. So when the person is drinking, with whom the person is drinking, and where the person is drinking. These are some of the antecedents that one has to bring into focus. If the person is taking it in a particular place, we need to identify and stop avoiding that particular place, or a particular group of friends that the person is taking. We need to stop interacting with the group and things like that. So mainly here, how do we counter this? By choosing alternate behaviors. If the person is already married, having children, playing with children, or involving more into household kind of responsibilities, looking more for an alternate behaviors instead of meeting these people with whom he drinks or visiting those places. That is one way where we need to work through, and mainly working on his drink refusal skills in the social area. So it's important for the person to verbally communicate that he has to, he has to be assertive, and he has to prepare for the reactions from various people. People might ridicule, make fun of, oh, how suddenly you stop drinking. So all this preparation is very important, and you have to remember that there is no need to give any logical explanation when you have decided on taking this substance to anyone. So verbal communication is one part of social skills training for the drink refusal that one need to be prepared. And then non-verbally, not feeling guilty or embarrassed is very important, and avoid these places that the person regularly drinks, and then those situations where he might end up drinking. And mainly with new people, it's important that they communicate that they don't drink instead of getting into a new company. So these are some of the skills that the person is trained in as part of the drink refusal skills. So another kind of psychological technique which they use is the sensitization technique, covered sensitization, where imaginally the person, a program is developed where the person able to see imaginally the aversive or the negative consequences of continue to indulge in the drinking behavior by a program called covered sensitization. And behavior counseling, mainly we are looking at working with the family, where the family members are advised to give less attention when the person is less attention on this drinking behavior, and appreciate more the kind of dry days where the person does not drink. And then the trust that he decides to or she decides to stop drinking is very important, and not suspecting the person. All these things will help the person to maintain that positive rewarding kind of behavior, and not discuss with them and with the other relatives about the kind of past drinking behaviors. So, and also bringing in the alternate behaviors, I said, more interested hobbies and other important things that make the person much more involving in the family is very important. Not the least, but the environment, the changes that one has to bring in the environment, like removing the bottles or whatever the clues that the person has, those glasses at home, and the storing at home, the stock that they keep in the refrigerator, all these things are very important. So to summarize, at workplace mainly the assertion is very important that they stop drinking, and one need to make a little bit changes in their routine, and then mainly focus on drink free friendships, and so that they can focus a little more on their work, as well as choose recreational activities or cultural activities which does not involve any drink, and especially not to invite relatives who has this drinking habits. These are some of the things that one need to modify in their environment. So this is in brief about the addictions and as a psychological condition.